Where are some good places to meet someone to date and potentially marry? This is Tammy C. Walker, the owner of Dreams Are a Reality. I created this channel to provide light and love. How are you doing? I am pretty good. So I was on Instagram and saw a very short video about several places to meet someone to marry. It really stated these are the places where people meet, date, and get married. So coming in at the bottom was like the gym, which, yes, I guess that would be a good place. I'm not a gym goer. When I do go, I can't say that I'm really looking around for someone to date. I'm typically don't even want to be there because, like I said, I don't really like big gyms. So when I'm there, I'm just trying to do my little cardio and go probably to the little weight area, do some weights, and get on up out of there. I'm not there really looking, but I could see that being a good place, I assume. Now, it seems as if people are really big on their fitness. They're not even in that frame of mind because a lot of people, they try to have a routine. And if they're going before work or after work, they have that time carved out for working out. So, it's always a chance to meet someone, to me anywhere. But the gym came in like around 5%, or I'm kind of going by memory, so if I'm off, but I do remember the order. It was some more stuff in the middle. Can't say I remember that. I do remember seeing church, and it was like lower than these others that I'm going to name. Church is a good place. So I already recorded a podcast about this, but I had to do it over because I have the terrible habit all of a sudden of saying, and I always rewatch my videos, and I kept saying, like so much that now I have to be very conscientious not to say, you know what I mean? So, church, I went to a church for almost 20 years. The ratio, I don't know, would it be women to men or men to women, either or? With the men, the percentage was so low because when I went to that church, either the guys were married or got married, because I came there as a young 22-year-old. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. Let's see. So they were either or. So that ruled out a chunk of guys. We didn't have that many guys compared to women, for starters. Some were quite older, so they're automatically off the list, and married. Then you got to factor in sexuality of some is questionable. We didn't have a lot of that at my church, but it was a couple. Be like, I don't even know. So, is church a good place? I wonder what you're thinking. Now, I do have two friends that met their men at church, and both of them have been married a long time. One 20-something years, and the other one like 29 years. So 20, maybe 21, 22 for one, and 29 for the other. And the reason why I know, I was in her wedding, and she got married in 1995. So that's not 29, is it? You all, my math is just terrible. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm right. Okay, yeah, that's right. Anyway, this is not a math. This is not a math test. This is Dreams Are Reality. Okay, after that, what other place was on there? School. School came in around 17%. I met my ex-husband at high school. He was older than me. I had my niece's dad, this is her late dad. I didn't want to say it like I was saying my niece. It's her dad that passed. And I bugged him. I was like, I want to meet your friend. He's like, no. Look, no. He was cool. House head. If you're from Chicago, you know house music. It was that era. The Heavy D era, even though Heavy D wasn't house. But, Heavy D had that look. So it was that era, the late 80s, definitely late 80s. And he was like, no, I'm not introduced to you. And then one day he came back and said, I'm going to take you over there. Come on. Because he was like, very sweet guy, but you wouldn't know it because he had you know, some people have that hard exterior. Me and him were very cool, very tight. That was like a brother to me. And he took me over there, and the rest is history. We ended up dating and got married, and it did not go good. It did not go good. But you know what? It's a lesson learned, and it's not okay because there was some abuse there. So I don't want to make light of it. But nevertheless, that's how I met him through high school is when I first saw him. The other one was work. That came in at 19%. And that's how I met the love of my life. You know, we're not together, but that's where I met him. I was with this other lady that worked there. She was kind of aggressive, like, hi, you're new here. You know, okay, let me make it clear. I worked at a manufacturing company, agricultural manufacturing company, predominantly white male. So it wasn't that many black people at this company, period. And black women was scarce. So I guess that's why she was like really happy to see me, a younger black woman. Long story short, we kind of became associates. I don't even want to use friends. And she was friends with him. And I think we were going to lunch, me and her, and he was outside. Was it she and I? What's the correct English? And he was outside. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, who is he? Very nice looking, clean cut, very polite and professional. That's what drew me to him. And it was a few brothers there, and they were trying to talk to me, and I was not interested because they were immature, like it's silly, immature guys. But he was more debonair, laid back, chill, the type of guy I like. And we became good friends. And then a couple of years later, we started dating for long time. Became like basically family to me and my family. That's how we view him. But work is a good place. I know some people are like, I don't want to meet nobody at work. In this case, we worked in a humongous manufacturing building. This guy is an engineer. So I wasn't sitting next to his desk. I'm not an engineer. At that time, I was more in purchasing and procurement. So I would be in procurement, probably like sometimes I would be like way far away from him, and he would be in this little area where the engineers sat. Then it got to the point where I got moved upstairs, and he would be downstairs. So the place is so big, you all words can't describe. It's got to be. It's really huge. So they make tractors. So if you can catch my drift, you know how big a tractor is. Tractors were inside of there, so that's how huge the place is. So you're not going to be on top of each other. Don't rule out work, everybody. I like meeting guys at work. I met another guy at work over 20 something years, everything 20 some years ago from the past. And he was also like, it was definitely somebody I would have married if he didn't have a problem with liking a lot of women. So me and him, we became very good friends, and we kind of, hung out and became very close. But he wasn't for me. He told me the truth. He's like, no, I'm not good for you. Okay, say less. Somebody tell you they're not good for you, run. They're being very honest, and respect their honesty and get out of there. But don't rule out work. Like now I'm a social worker. What if I worked at a hospital and met a male nurse or a doctor or another social worker like me? That's a good way to date. So please don't rule out work. I think work is good. School is always excellent. Let's see. What was that other one? Through somebody. Well, that's a good way. I've asked several people, do you know anybody? I'm single. Do you know anybody? Nope. Again, I get flustered and frustrated around this. Let's just be brutally honest, and not to discourage anybody on here that's around my age. When you are in your 50s, that's just really not, to me, and for me, this is how I feel. It's not the ideal time to date. I'm not saying you can't meet nobody. I'm not saying it won't work. I don't think like that. But the progression of life, 20s, 30s, is when you really trying to figure out who you are. 20s, 30s are when you are sampling, dating. If some people get married in their 20s, it all depends on how your life goes. Everybody's life is different, but it's a more open time. 40-ish, the blinders fall off. You'd be like, no, 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 and positively, no, I'm not doing any of that. 50s, you have arrived, and you really straight up no chaser. You just about it, okay? Now, that's my view on 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. It's different for everybody. There are some people that are very immature, and so age don't even matter. They're still thinking like they did 30 years prior. So those are exceptions to the rule, but it's tough dating in your 50s. I'm not saying I've been out there pounding the pavement, really trying, but it's like, I'm sorry for the ramble on here too. It's like your mindset is different. And now, I'm in my lower 50s, but I think about retirement a lot and making sure I have my finances in order or getting them in order or positioning myself to be comfortable in my latter years. That's what I'm thinking about right now. So definitely need a man that has a plan and that's mature and that's sincere. Those are the traits I like to look for. Believe in God, love himself. Gotta love himself, because if he don't love himself, he can't love me. So meeting through someone, it's a good angle though. If they have somebody for you to meet. I think like that when I meet a guy, typically he's 30 something. So I always think, oh, he could be my son. But I always watch the guy, and if he's of substance, of character, I'm like, well, that'd be a good guy for. And I try to think about somebody else single, although I don't have a lot of friends that are single in their 30s. I don't have a lot of friends that's 30 something. But through someone is a good way. Now, everybody, let me throw this disclaimer out there. Do not introduce people to randoms. Oh, Tammy's single. What about him? Just any old guy. Knowing Tammy don't like that type of guy, or knowing that's not my style. That I don't like, because now you're trying to treat me like a charity case. You know your friends, you know your sisters, you know your people. Don't go introducing them to women that they don't like those type of women. I don't know why people do that. Here I go with that. I heard myself. Oh God, I don't know why people do that when they know the person is not going to be interested in them. Come on, you all. If you know that person, try to remember who they had prior. And I'm not saying find a replica of who they had, but it gives you an idea typically maybe of the type of woman or man that they would be interested in. Although many of us, we date guys that look absolutely nothing like the other guy. Or you'll see your male friend, he may have a new lady, like, that's his type. She looks nothing like the other lady. It not even look, but they'd just be like total polar opposites. So I guess it's safe to say some of us don't really have a type, because I'm definitely the one that would date various looking guys. It's not the look for me only. It's a lot of other stuff. But hey, that gives you an idea. We still got time to get out before the summer. We are at a good place. If you are like me, I've been working on myself for these first 3 months. I had some goals planned, and I'm approaching some of them. I'm very happy with where I've been going for 2024. Always improvement to be done, but I'm looking forward to having a good spring and summer, if God says the same. And I hope the same for you. And maybe you can get out to church and to the gym and to school and to work. We know we're going to get out to work unless you work remote. People like working remote. But you see, it's not always good to work remote, because you're not going to get to meet your man or your lady. That's why I don't like that remote work 100%. I like hybrid. That way you could still mingle with people. Do hybrid, you all. Don't do that remote. Don't isolate. Don't let COVID get you. Anyway, that's a whole nother video and podcast. But you have time to get out and meet someone. And don't forget, if you are single, tell your group, tell your circle, tell somebody that might tell somebody. Maybe that's what we should do. tell our circle and tell them to ask for us, other people. Now, that's a good way. Hey, I'm helping you all. I'm going to take my own advice. Tell your circle and then tell them to ask their circle. So that way it's getting around. Okay, you all. Thank you. You're welcome. I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for listening to my humor. As you all could tell, I'm a person that likes to laugh and crack jokes and be silly. We have to in such a heavy, heavy world. We got to be lighthearted and try to get some fun out of life. And if you can't laugh at yourself, hey, who can you laugh at? Tammy Sharice Walker signing off. Have a great day. I cut down on my nose. And God bless you all. Bye.